to the show, and we're your hosts,
Janessa.
and Cynthia. Hi, so it's been a while since we have been on because we've been terribly busy with our trip to Jamaica, and that went really well. And we want to thank each and every one of you who supported us. Thank you so much for your support. Now, today we want to talk about
Attire.
and the importance of what you put on and how that appears to people. And one of the first questions I want to ask is, what's the first thing someone sees when you walk into a room, Janessa?
What you're wearing and how you're wearing it.
And what do you mean how you're wearing it?
So you can be wearing something that's very basic, but if you carry yourself and you carry yourself with confidence, people are gonna say, "Oh, you look nice." Then again, on the other hand, if you're wearing something that's not too flattering and you're carrying yourself in not a good way, then they're gonna look at you and be like, "Oh, what's up with you?" You know, there's different ways that people can interpret what you're wearing and different ways you can interpret what you're wearing.
And we know that we all want to be individuals and represent ourselves in our clothing based on who we are. And we do not want to take that away from anyone. But it's also very important to understand that people's perception of you comes first from what they see you wear, even before they hear you speak. So it's very important to make that first impression be one that's a good impression. And as girls, as women, we have to make sure that we put ourselves together in a way that people see the qualities that we want them to see. We are queens, we are princesses, but to what castle, to what kingdom? And that comes across in the clothes that we wear and how we wear them. Too much cleavage, is that really necessary? And if your clothing is stick on to you like a glove and there's no way for space or air to get through, is that necessary? Or if your dress is too short to where you can't bend over without exposing everything that God has given you, what sense does that make, right?
Right.
So, this really came up because the girls and I have been participating in quite a few activities recently, and we're just concerned. We're just concerned about you and about other girls and other women around and how they present themselves, and even women and girls that are in authority, girls and women who are supposed to be setting examples. We often find that the clothing that they're wearing does not stand up to par. And what do you think I mean by that, Janessa?
If so there's a respectable person or a person who has a voice or has a platform in a certain community or area, and they're not dressing as if they're representing a whole group of people, or not if they're representing a whole lifestyle, then it doesn't match up, and people look at that and they see that and they're wondering, how do you represent this when you look like this?
Yeah, so it's okay to be an individual, and if you're going to a party, to be you and to dress for that event, to dress for that party. But say you're representing princesses and ladies and you're coming to an event for princesses and ladies, you have to consider who and what and the organization that you're representing, and dress according to the standards of that organization, and it will flow off into you. You don't lose your identity, you don't lose yourself, but you also keep up the standards of that organization or of the person that you're going to represent. And even with being your own individual person, what person are you? Who are you? And what are you trying to bring across to the community and to the people that you're around? We really want to empower girls, and we really want to empower women. And part of that empowerment comes from the outside. Yes, we are not what you see or what we wear, but it really affects how people respond to us and how people perceive us to be. So I'm really encouraging girls and women out there to take a look in the mirror. When you go out, we do the test.
Yeah.
The girls have to do a test, don't you, Janessa? And tell us about that test.
So in my house, or my mom's house, our shirt has to cover, certain areas of our body. We can't show too much cleavage. It can't be too short, so we're not showing our belly or anything like that. Our pants or bottoms cannot be too tight or too short or anything. So yeah, just to make sure look presentable and that we're representing the right things.
And if you raise your hands, the
Yeah.
skirt can't go or the dress can't go too high. And you know, there are styles out there now that your tummy shows. What do you call those
Crop
tops?
tops?
Your crop tops. And my girls, Janessa wear crops, but you know, there's just a certain amount of her tummy that she's allowed to show. So you know, I say to girls all the time, you can be in style, you can be attractive, but there's truly a difference between being attractive, being in style, and being sexy. And I say we leave sexiness for when you're married, and that's for your spouse, but you can be attractive for the world and sexy for your husband. So keep that in mind, young ladies, that we're not asking you to not be in style, but of course not every style is necessarily one that you need to follow, because there are fads, and you know, we don't really need to be part of every fashion statement that there is. So really consider what you put on and how your style represents who you are.
Yes.
Thank you, and again, remember to rule your world, conquer your obstacles, empower yourself and others. Tune in and watch us, like us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you.